Victor Oladipo is coming off yet another really big performance on this road trip. He had 26 points in Phoenix, just pretty much dominant the entire way on both ends. You have the other big game on this road trip in Utah. There's just a couple big games in this road trip, but he's just been consistent, and that's kind of been the common theme. But I wanted to go over the thing that stood out most over this entire span, the way he's being utilized, and also the things he's just been very good at within his own game plan. Let's start with this game in Phoenix, where like I said, he had 26 points. He was getting to the line a ton. And I feel like the real common theme is that he just has his burst back. He's able to not only get by that first layer of defense, but he's also been able to finish well and just get to the line. So pretty much right here, the thing to point out is all you have to watch of Victor Oladipo is just the strong side defense. So you look at the top of the key or the top of your screen with Bam sitting there on that kind of mid-range hub. All you have to do is watch that guy, because if he is kind of glued to his guy, Victor Oladipo loves this right slot. So he's just going to slide right down. If there's a help defender, it makes it a little bit more difficult for him as a scorer. But that's kind of the common theme here. So you're going to see him kind of working as defender. He kind of tries to help with the nail, but not a full help. That's kind of just like a show and go that's just kind of there for just for looks, because that does not do anything for this Victor Oladipo drive. He gets right to the basket. He's able to lay it in at the buzzer at the end of the third quarter. The reason I show that is because that's not just one random lay-in on this road trip, because he has been doing this the entire time. As you go back to the Clippers game, you see him running in transition a little bit. As I go back a little bit, running in transition right here, gets to his right. Luke Kennard, somebody that he was going at a ton in this game, but he's kind of guarding Max Strus. He's helping down actually a good amount, but it's not enough because it's not stopping him from getting to the rim. He's able to glide right here, get to his right, and lay it in. The reason I say this is we go back in this game. We're now in the fourth quarter. A very interesting two-man combo that they've been utilizing is kind of Dipo and Max, just because if you let Dipo get to his right and then combine that with the fact that Max is going to basically slip any screen he sets, it's just tough to guard in terms of what they're trying to do. So right here, you're going to see they put Max in kind of top of the screen corner. They kind of slip the screen. They let Dipo go. Now he gets to his right. Like I said before, no strong side help. He's able to get to the basket and lay it in. The reason this is important is because the way they're utilizing him, they're running sets for him to just kind of work in an empty corner. They're trying to just clear out that strong side completely to not even let defenses make a decision just because he's been so good at it. So let me show it again as I go back. Just watching the way that Max slips, they actually switch this screen, like I said before, Luke Kennard, and he's able to lay it in. The reason I go back and I show this is because I go to the next play. Similar thing, like the same exact setup. Max starts here. They're trying to see if they can get him in that empty corner again to drive down that right slot. But they're not going to let Dipo do that here. He gets right here. John Wall is not just going to allow this switch. He's helping down. Zubac is helping down as well. Now he can just basically pass it up top to Max for wide open. You're just seeing this process change in general, and that's what's kind of been so key, I guess, for them on this trip. Now I go back to the final game, or the first game that he played, which was in Utah. And they were basically spamming this action with like Spain pick and rolls, where they were going to have a shooter this time in Duncan Robinson basically come up to either set the screen for Bam's guy or just kind of jump up to that left wing. So right here, end of the first quarter possession, Duncan Robinson's going to rise. He's going to lift. He's not even going to set a screen. It's just a ghost screen. But you're going to look before this, actually. I want to go back and show one quick thing. Is you're going to see on the bottom of your screen, Rudy Gay is going to switch with Malik Beasley. They like this matchup better. They'd rather Malik Beasley chase Duncan. So now Rudy Gay settles. You just see him just kind of put his hands on his knees. He's going to sit by Gabe. That is the one thing you do not want to do versus Victor Oladipo if he has the ball at the top of the key. Because now Dipo can get right to his right. There is no strong side help whatsoever. They kind of come over for late help, and he's able to lay it in. The reason I bring that up again is later in this game, we go down to the fourth quarter. A possession is kind of an important, very important possession because they're down 3 at this point halfway through. Similar thing, Duncan kind of slips it. They have a miscommunication. He drives down that right slot. Tyler Hero is being kind of glued at the top of that screen right there. They're not helping down. As I go back, we all know what this play is. It was kind of one of his bigger highlights, obviously biggest highlight of the season. Big time dunk over Walker Kessler. We're seeing the way that he's utilized being a lot different. If you let him get to his right on the drive, like that is not what you want as a defense. But it's also credit to Miami because they're finding ways to kind of really put him in a comfort zone in the half court when he's running the show.